for that. We have 11 panelists here who are going to be discussing why no one is putting money in real estate, or if they have money in real estate, why they're not giving money to buy real estate. So I'm going to begin with the person sitting next to me, who I found out in the meeting room is called Amitabh Bachchan of real estate. Are you also an anti-man, like Amitabh Bachchan, as he was popularly called, because there is no money that is coming into this sector? There's a liquidity problem.
I'm only a loving man. I think more people love me than hate me, so why should I get angry at all? I'm not angry at all.
Okay, so coconut joke society, it was on Sunday. That you go with the finance minister, the very fact that you went with the housing minister, it does send a positive signal that, okay, not long, it's at least believing. We don't know what's going to happen after this. I don't expect to break the confidence of Ms. Sitaram and those in the room. It's common knowledge what your expectations and what your suggestions have been. How crucial is a policy intervention in the real estate sector? Let me flip it around and ask.
I think it's not only real estate. I think the liquidity crisis is across the board. So I think the first issue is liquidity, the second issue is liquidity, the third issue is liquidity. So if you solve the liquidity problem, you solve 50% of the real estate problem. Because there are a large number of projects which are positive net worth, which are capable of completion, but because of lack of liquidity, I will give one silly example. An NBFC has given 50 crores commitment, mortgage of property, given 10 crores, is not willing to release the second amount because they lack liquidity and not the developer. So for no rhyme or reason, that project is stuck. So until you don't solve the liquidity issue of the system, which is a systemic problem of confidence from banks to NBFCs and then NBFCs to the real estate sector. So if you solve the NBFC crisis first completely, I promise you 50% of the liquidity issue of the real estate sector will get sorted. The second is the issue of those projects which are totally stuck. The NCR will supply one of them. I think there we need stress funds to come in order to take things into a crisis. And there is a lot of people who could give this money if the last mile funding could be a LIFO method which is last in, first out. So I think probably all the people sitting over here would have really fun something like that. So having
maybe you want to have a show man who will do it? Anybody want to raise their hand? Or who will do this stress fund? He said a lot of people sitting, anybody wants to raise their hand and do it?
So Mr. Bhagat is the first one, so anybody who wants the large mile funding here it is. So what I'm saying is if we solve those two problems, then we have at least 75% of the projects off the book. And I think the FM is very much into it, and I'm hopeful that we will get something out within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Next 2 to 3 weeks. I think that's just, I think all stakeholders have also real estate and are expecting. Just let me come to you. Whether there's money for real estate or not, your consultants get a lot of money, right? Especially the big four. Now, the entire problem with NBFCs has unfortunately had a domino impact, which is fair no one, including the big four. I'm not going to get into that. But it's going to be 1 year anniversary of INS. It's 11 months now. Next month is going to be a year when the entire cycle started. With NBFCs out, we've got others that can become banks, cut out their real estate exposure. Real estate is still a bad word, dirty word. The point is that even if somebody wants to buy a house, who's going to give that person money to buy a house? Because it's not happening. You're going to be happy with credit off status.
I think this needs to be looked at from a two standpoint, right? What the developers are getting money and what the end users are getting money, right? So while there is an NBFC crisis, there is liquidity shortage, but I think people with the right credit today, end users who are looking at going out and buying houses, there is money. And I'm sure kind of almost back on the panel we'll be able to kind of attest that there is enough lending happening in that sector. So you've got the right credit and the right project, the right kind of leverage. There is funding. I think it's one point I'd like to make on the other part is the liquidity. While there is a shortage of funds from the Indian players, what we've seen in the recent past, the kind of transactions that we are working on, there are still a number of foreign funds that are open to looking at it. So I was in 2 weeks back, I was in Japan, talking to a bunch of funds. There is a level. So I think that is a good news that while the digital funds,
because this has existed for a while now. We could have been having this conversation with the Fed fund last year, the year before that, the year before that. We've been talking about it.
if you ask me, everybody's looking at it. If you ask me, if there are people who are looking for funds, I think both hedge funds, even people who are ready to extend appropriate credit, and even to a certain extent equity money, people who want to come in and join ventures here in India is also happening.
So let's wait and see when the two come in. Mr. Mohanty, if I could come to you. What happened? And I don't see how much finance is first thing. I don't think we have much choice in that matter. I think of the social part. Either the new board, the Reserve Bank of India, that has also been decided what's going to happen with the housing finance companies and all of that. But your housing finance companies are at the heart of this entire crisis too.
No, that's the housing finance. Because retail loan there is no issue. But development loans, we have to be ready to see the overall situation. So, but there is no confidence for good business. What we observe now, projects which are higher, which can be sold immediately, and our money is back as per terms and conditions. Those projects also will now come. So there is no issue for sale.
Okay, let me ask you this question. You have all the builders and developers here. You had a business experience. You've learned lessons. But if there's a good builder, there is funding. For LIC Housing Finance was a good builder, so there is liquidity for this builder. So how would you define a good builder? Everybody can tell what is wrong.
We are satisfied. Where we are totally satisfied, we go beyond our project appraisal norms. There are norms. But something beyond also we see so that our money is back as per terms and conditions. We are fully, not that we are totally stop, but we are getting together.
Can I ask you, out of your entire book, how much is funding for developers, how much is done by, can you share it with us?
Most, almost 90%. And
I'm going to go back and try to get more definitions of what is a good builder. I'm going to put that in the heart of all the people who are here. They know. Okay, so there are 3 Amits on this panel, and I promise all the 3 Amits I will not confuse them. So I'll come to the first Amit, Amit Bhagat over here. You said you find, you can see what Mr. Hiranandani's suggestion was. But, when I want to also flip and ask, real estate has an economic multiplier. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the GDP rate being where it is, and whoever didn't want to go back. But right now, why would a builder even want to build, given the unsold inventory?
I think it's a commitment. Buyers he has given. He has no choice but to do because under RERA he has complete as the timeline. See, the problem is the financial closure of the project has not been done by him. I can divide this project into 4 categories. First category is where the money has been diverted to another. This is where the experience is bad. The second is where the money has been borrowed for buying land. With an assumption the price will go up and the price will not go up. And the third and fourth category can be where reduced, no money diverted, even for buying land, this is natural. And the fourth is where sales have slowed down completely because the brand has not done the product. This is how you divide all digital projects into 4 categories and then find a solution for each one of them. That is first. Any good reputed brand is the beneficiary of this consolidation. Because what is happening is all these transformational structural changes are leading to consolidation. Brands do not bigger cities. Now, if they have consolidation, this consolidation since the RERA, insolvency, the customer is not willing to trust a non-reputed brand who has not done the product himself. And if the bigger brands are beneficiary of this consultation and they have started a project and they have given a timeline to the customer and it is registered with RERA, they have no choice but to they may have to tweak. Some developers may have completed to take off doing a project which is in the upper mid segment where the demand is in the lower mid. That demand supply is much different. And for that we need some kind of a restructuring. While doing restructuring, banks and housing companies can look at the project and see whether the money has been diverted or not. The money has not been diverted, that's it. And that is partly for the restructuring.
This is that escrow you're talking about.
No, I'm saying if the money has not been diverted to another project, then restructuring should be given as a one-time and provided.
This is Pradeep Jain. I will come to you now. There are a lot of disruptions that have taken place, and once it's not there on the delivery agenda, there is going to be a new disruption. At least that's my sense of it, which is the Supreme Court's recent upholding of IBC with respect to financial creditors. How messy is that going to be? On one side, of course, it's being hailed as home buyers' rights being upheld, all of that. But, you know, just like all builders are not chores, it's not like all buyers are not extortionists. So having said that, how are builders like you going to deal with this? If you're not able to give a flat on time, or you don't like the brand of the washing machine, or this and the other, you can be declared insolvent, or you have to deal with that unit.
I think the wrong question is the wrong question. I'm a developer, not a buyer. But definitely, the Supreme Court order about recently is a big challenge for the real estate sector, not related to the specific developer. And the one side is the challenge, the other side is advantage with this order, because what happened in last couple of months, if you see, that most of the customers, they start going to the earlier they are going to consumer home, and then start going to the NCA to use the tool against the developer. And then the developer went to the Supreme Court, now the Supreme Court might come out. Is that now the consumer needs to prove before the NCLT is the actual home buyer. Okay? So if you ask me, and maybe the 10 case against me, and out of those 10 cases, all the consumers, they have the multiple booking with the multiple developers. They are not a consumer. And we keep leading before the NCRDC, before the EOW, before the other forums we are not agreed to. Because there is no DJ home buyer. Now, I think with this order, that could relief to the real estate developers in this manner.
Amit, I want to pick up on something that Pradeep Jain said, that now the onus is also going to be the food and a genuine home buyer. And this is something I've not understood. Why is a speculator or a real estate investor considered to have this bad image? What if you want to talk about real estate as an asset class? We have to say that, oh, you have 100 shares in this company, why do you also have 100 shares in this company? How should it matter whether you have the properties you want to flip it? You know, at least in North India, the best retirement policy is always been considered, I'm going to buy a house and put it on there. Why is it such a bad image? And until we get rid of that, can you see a recovery?
So I think that's why it's very easy for us to actually pass any judgment on the outcome of this landmark decision, which is obviously, I think, positive from the perspective that there are a number of, I think, close to about 400 odd matters which are pending in the report, which has got back to clarity. So I think they will start in the right direction in terms of moving the legislation forward. As far as the genuinity is concerned, I think the underlying assumption is that it is intending to weed out the mystic mongers rather than the genuine consumers. Now, whether that's consumers and investors, renting, or the self-consumption, I don't think that's even easy to actually say what is the intent that is purchase. But the purchaser has to be genuine, must have a valid register receiver to show that is a bona fide buyer, has paid in time, and is genuinely affected by the performance of the project. I think so. The bona fide of that purchaser and his goals have to be validated. However, the implementation of that we have to see, because it's not just one person, it's now a mass of people in a particular project, and whether that collective process can actually give into a single objective that can drive the process forward is something which we see, because this is the current context. Without having home buyers and financial creditors, we are seeing growth get extremely messy. With the number of financial creditors, operational creditors, resilience is becoming harder and harder. And therefore, now the issue of home balance finance pressure, I mean, when I look at friends, my finance industry said, we are hiring volumes now at the highest trading. So, it's not easy. It's not easy. But the intent is well placed that there is a certain amount of capital, a significant amount of capital invested by the buyers. And therefore, they must have a registration process to the IBC where they're not lost in the line, they're not basically that I'm right in favor of financial contract. So what it does to me as an investor and a lender, it actually increases my risk capacity and my
question on behalf of the profile. A lot of the people that may have bought the project might have also been because they were backed by those banks. And yet you want them to be last in line. These are people who pay rent, whose entire finances have gone out the back. And it was the bank also that backed those projects. They added loss, they added assets. They know so. That's why you see those ads were sold in 100 million, sold in 2 days or whatever. I think there was advocate. There was something very
right. So clearly the fair line for
that's not what the bank not going to lend.
So I mean, I would like to ask you one thing, because this is currently the bigger challenge for whether going forward, how do you see how the finance see this type of scenario in support lending, especially now with the growth of the subvention scheme, which is a very important point for the affordable housing, because companies like the 30 lakh loan for them to be able to pay the underwriting rent and EMI and the other outgoing, the original payment is very large. What most people think is that the moment they get to that, they stop paying the rent, they can move to the house and start paying the EMI. That was the tough. This is why we did very well for the house. And that was a very big underwriting that we did in our own business that when we actually made money, is that there would be significant return of course from home financiers because they would be able to support the subvention. So this kind of disruptive cash flow means that the entire active overall of the project has gone up significantly. Dr. Hiranandani also mentioned that by almost 20% of the capital project has actually gone up. But the total amount of money is much higher. 3x. Wow. So that means that more money needs to be pumped. This is not there. This is never there. We never made that promise when we actually started underwriting and when we started getting money. So now on one side, we need capital for the business. Second, we don't have our subsidies. We don't have policy loans. Of course, we might have done very rate lending loans, but clearly it was mentioned that there's no transmission of being state transmission at one side of the island. So there's a huge amount of disruption in the actual availability of capital on one side and the use of that capital on the other side. That efficiency has gone out of control. So that is what the business property of cost of the capital and the cost of the property.
I'm going to let you know what's coming.
This is the point. That consumers are far with the financial critical. I believe that increased confidence in the consumer. So our industry let us take advantage of that and cater to those things. Let us take advantage of that. That is my take on that.
We get into subvention as well. Amit, Bhagat, let me come to you. Fantastic towers, we've seen so far from HINES, down, the but coming also, I got so many Bhutan, Gadia, fantastic restaurants now. But jokes aside, you are seeing economy of contraction. The ability of corporate meetings to sign up this fantastic real estate is also going to go down. Co-living seems at home, working seems to be the new buzzword, not very far from this co-work, e-work, all of that. The sector is also adapting. You may not be going to banks, you might be relying on a parent company, you don't know it, you're private. But having said that, if you could give us a insight into commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is also considered a good indicator of the economy, and the last couple of years it has outstripped the residential real estate.
Thank you for the firstly. I just want a couple of topics that were discussed here, and specifically to answer your question first, we do take global funding for construction finance, and in fact, some of the esteemed lenders for our projects are present in this room right now. Let me just say that if the risk is priced correctly, there is an abundant capital. First we start with that strongly globally. The capital is never a constraint. It is the
pricing of that capital. Right? And therefore, even today as we speak, any new project that we are starting, we are approaching lenders, and if we meet their criteria, which I describe very humbly as 4 recipes of success, we were asking what makes a successful builder from a lender's perspective. Been a lender in the past, Niyat, Gadia, Mehnat, and then you need. But of the first 3, we've had significant problems in the past. 70% of the developers, I was reading an article recently, 70% of the developers in India don't exist in business. There was a gap with Niyat and Gadia. In some cases, even not ready to make the effort. I think the fundamental problem with home buyers' mindset in the past has been the prices will always go up and real estate is a safe investment. I think that fundamental premises there was risk being taken which was not visible and known. Now when the risk is clearly played out, whether it's execution or prices directly, home buyers are rightfully saying, I have a problem. I have extreme sympathy and empathy for home buyers where product has not been delivered. But the privileged cases we've seen are also existing at the same time. We need to clear that. The last point I'll make, Nayantara, is you asked a question and the answer was in your question, which is we keep talking about the same thing every year. Where is the stress fund? We are going through a fundamental change in the country right now. It's a structural change. It's not just a cyclical downturn. It's coupled with a structural change. And it's being driven top down. We need to understand and appreciate that this is going to be a painful ride. The key lies in how quickly we can go through that change. Because after the change is over, it will be a much better environment for all of us. But the faster we execute, the faster we have a stress fund. We talk about the court awarding one of the government agencies to complete the project of a such project, I won't name it. But with 1 year down the line after that announcement, and
strike it down, not the part of the government.
And the question is, where is the financial closure? With all due respect, financial closure is the first thing to do if you want to complete a company to start a project.
But I want to talk about that as well, and depending on the developer for okay, but from a developer's perspective, very tough time. It's understandable. Do you go right now? Are you in expansion mode? Are you in Ambience mode in expansion?
I think today's time is not for expansion. That's what I think. And
this is why I was asking that why is builder even going to a bank loan?
I think again, developers are going through the bad period. They have different needs. This is not a form to analyze that, but certainly what you are saying, liquidity is one of the issues of that. And Mr. Hiranandani has mentioned that they are mentioned. Frankly speaking, in my opinion, NBFC is one of the factors which has contributed to the crisis. And we are saying that they should come out, but in my opinion, they have raised their short-term funds in order to lend to the developer for the long run. And that problem has contributed to the ills of the builder. And now, certainly things are taking place. And second thing, developers have been made a scapegoat for the NBFC and they feel funds. We talk all these times, they talk 20 to 24% or 28% of returns. Who can pay in these times? And whatever we are talking here, we should talk. And the bank's case also, we are still, the government is having 150 times of the capital we have provided for the commercial real estate. We do not refuse. We are just doing the cap cost. Till the time we will not recognize it as an industry and the risk factor will not be brought down to 100 or 50, it will not be. No bank is ready to, I think Chairman Sahab was saying that good developer, frankly speaking, I am lost who is a good developer.
That's why I was also asking you.
Definitely gone. Only good developers are HINES or Blackstone or Brookfield. These bond funds that will get a good developer. Only definitely these banks are having. I can tell you one thing. My LRD case in one bank was going on for 10.25. And that bank had sanctions to Blackstone land, same amount of money. Same time, how can we do? The areas are made a stress fund because before the fee fund, in the name of stress fund or this fund or that fund, they are exploiting us. Today, 70% and 80% of the corporate space, office space as well as the retail space is owned by the foreign buyer. And they will not far away, he will be like 1600 application India company, people will be. The Indians will be nowhere. This is the future of this industry. If you want to close up. All Indians will be wiped out, whoever he may be. Or he will be just contractors, full contractors. I was this. That's all this is.
I think the benefit of what's happening
Not about to name it. Please don't make it. You are there, that's why I mean,
not about that. I'm just saying that the benefit of the current situation is being taken by Godrej, Tata, Shapoorji, Mahindra, and several other Indian developers, a lot of whom are also the Bangalore leading developers, making inroads in all cities, including ours. So I think there is an opportunity for everybody. Yes, we've had some really tough times in the last few years. I think, at least in my mind, I bucket my day into two, parts, which is solving stress problems and second, making use of the opportunity. I think we've got to split our time with both.
In fact, let me ask you, like I said, your calls coming up at this sector, the trend sector, all that. Does he have a point? Is it an exaggeration? You've done a big deal as well. Was it because of liquidity or is it for that in the future?
No, I think what has happened is, historically, we had a different set of regulations. So, this is prior to demonetization, prior to RERA, prior to all the other things that happened. When the change took place, historically, we brought RERA into the older projects also. So, nobody anticipated this type of regulation to take place. So, that has been a problem. That's why we divided the entire issue into old ones, where we have stress issues, stress funds, or whatever is needed to do to take care of that. I don't think the problem is of the prospective projects in terms of the consumer, because RERA being there and the escrowing of the amount, I don't see that prospectively. But the liquidity crisis overwhelms both the sector, which is the old and the new. So I do. The old ones also need the caring and the stress funds to be introduced. The new one needs 3x funds. Earlier, if I had to purchase a project, I needed 50 crores of infusion. Today, I need 150 crores. Because 50% of my sales will take place when I get to people are postponing buying, they don't want to do GST, they are
Plus cost of capital is high.
the cost of capital is higher. So the funding requirement is higher. It may be looked at the point those who bring in capital will obviously have certain projects, and I see benefit in what we say. But at the same time, India needs capital. So we will have to look at all these aspects of it and see who is giving capital for what. But number two, no matter what capital comes from it, they go on the low risk side. While India is so big that there is a higher amount of risk, which I don't think foreign capital is ready to take. We will have to balance these two things in terms of the old project, new project, and the third requirement of capital being higher. We have to assess two things.
Since I got to talk about the capital, talk about the PMG as well as the Mohanty, platform, the GID, etc. So, do you want a second one?
In fact, I would like to probably do this very fast. We have a good reserve of that. We have a rating. So our pricing is basically based on this. Up to 50 crores, there are different provinces, and above 50 crores, we have. One thing I would like to tell you that if we have financed 400 lakh crores, 4 lakh crore of loans to home buyers, that money has gone to the building community, business community. Everyone state tax is sanctioning 10,000 crore, out of which 50% to 55% is getting disbursed. That money is going to the business. There are issues because of what Amit has said, diversion, investment in land banks, and those monies are money is stuck. The confidence of buyers now will come only when you are completing the installment. Now that 80,000 homes are basically under the stall project. Out of this, 180,000 is around area. So we have to come out with that. I'm not seeing any demand, lesser demand from home buyers. However, the total numbers are going up. Liquidity as per bank is concerned, there is no liquidity issue, that's why rates have gone up. And I would like to tell you that our
I'm sorry to say this, you're back to the stage.
I'm telling you, otherwise rates would have gone down. When there is a liquidity, no. But there is a demand, there's a demand. And if there is a lesser demand, supply of money will be only when there is.
Yeah, there is a liquidity problem. There is a problem with the banks keeping it disturbed maybe that there's going to be more NPAs, the Reserve Bank. The whole government says they're 110 cartridges, they're 29 and we pass. We're running out of time. It's not the only conferences that are standing. This is a come to you. You are being spearheaded from NAREDCO perspective GST. We saw some changes that I don't think all of you were very happy about. The thing else that we asked against something else. You were also part of that meeting with the panelists on Sunday. You spearheaded that effort of Hiranandani. 2 to 3 weeks, what are the 3 most important things that can revive the housing market, which could then play a multiplier role in the economy?
If you look at what was being informed to the finance ministry and what I personally
But she can't take the buyers back.
Okay. See, that was the issue is that the demand has to be created. Now, how do we create the demand? Say, in Bhagat era, the interest rate came down from 14% to 6.5% within 1 year. Now, this is something which we need to see and understand. If at that time the finance companies come down to that level, why it cannot be done now? There has to be some kind of a initiative and incentive given to the home buyer to buy them. That is number one. If, let us say, my rate of interest is 8.5%, and if I want to borrow some money, I can borrow, let us say, I can borrow and buy a house worth 1 crore rupees. I will pay EMI of 78,000 rupees. But if my rate of interest is 6.5%, I can buy a house worth 1 crore 25. That is specifically I can buy 25 lakh more, which is about 24-25% of extra demand at the same level of. This is something needs to be done. It was pointed out to the madam also, and we also say that the subvention scheme being stopped. See, subvention misuse of that scheme is not something new. Even if you see the 2015 master circular issued by the RBI, it talks about that this should not happen. The bank should have taken care that they should have funded the people to the work. Just 100%, because they found that the buyer, the builder says, I am getting the security of the buyer, as well as I am getting a guarantee of the developer. So that they went on supplying and they went on funding more and more buyers, developers. That is where the problem arises. Even if otherwise it takes care of the single biggest issue of a possession of the buyer. The buyer is most worried about 100% property, is most worried about the property. Now, he worries that I will pay the rent also because he doesn't have a house and I will pay the EMI.
Yeah.
Now, that EMI is taken care of by her. That was pointed out to her. The third issue which was raised was that, like Mr. Hiranandani said, that the crash fund rate would be there so that the past funding can be taken care of. And this Mr. Hiranandani being there, none of the issues which we discussed was that. I would say that. One more thing I would say.
It don't happen in a.
Yeah, excuse me, give me a minute. One more issue that was raised was the quality of the follow. I personally think that that is a misnomer, I would say. That is not correct. The many developers which are being said and example is being made out of those developers who have done malpractices. They were considered what they were considered before signing. Just see that. They were considered one of the top builders in the country. So that even this analysis which again recently published talks about if the top three borrowers of each bank goes, then what will happen to the economy? Now the people are thinking about that. That the top borrowers will not mean a state bank. That is what one needs to consider.
Yeah, I think you started nodding his head as he wanted. You have a question?
No, I just wanted to say what is a good borrower definition from the bank's perspective. I'm a financial advisor and I act as an intermediary between the bank and the client, and I help clients to raise funds. So as far as any of the banks or any of the institutions are concerned, there are four basic criteria that need to be fulfilled apart from the other criteria. First criteria is that the 25% of the project cost has to be made in the form of an equity. You manage a project cost, if it is a 1,000 crore project cost, 25% of that has to come in the form of an equity. The second condition that the bank imposes that after this IBC has come in, that 100% of the collateral in the money for all the construction loan amount has to be equal. Third and important condition is this: in none of the accounts, whatever they all going accounts, particularly last 2 years at least, they should not be in SMA with any of the banks and the institutions. Now imagine with these three conditions complied with, bank has to, suppose if any builder complies with these three conditions also, bank has to make a 100% risk weighting. There is a 100% risk weighting in which the bank gives the loan. If out of the three conditions are not complied with, same NBFC goes and gives the builder a loan. NBFC का risk weighted is 20% depending upon the rating of that NBFC. So how is this the bank being incentivized to lend to a good borrower in case if whatever the conditions that the bank has laid down for the funding of the borrower, if those conditions are relaxed by the same NBFC and same NBFC gets refinanced up to 5 times of funding the same borrower, जिसको बैंक पैसा नहीं दे सकता. So this is this can only come in by two things, what I think. So first of all, the risk weightage, which is as per the Basel III norms also, where 112 countries are the signatories. The real estate loan in China and all the European countries, now 25% are risk weighted. In our mortgage loan also, we have got around 60% risk weighted. It is in the housing loan, and builders have got 100% risk weighted. I think so. This is the time that our risk weightage for our builder loan it should be reduced to half. So till the time we do that, our repayment capacity or our bank loan capacity to give to the builder cannot be increased. And also there is one more definition which is important. One day one would be default, and default in any of the institutions. If I have taken 5 projects, I think there are किसी 8 project में मेरे default है. Entire 5 banks, my account has to be it has to be termed as an NP account. So this is where the problem is there in terms of the RBI definition. One day one would be default. My default is one institution, my entire 5 institutions or whatever is the banking parlance, I become untraceable at that point.
Only one point I'd like to add to that. RBI in 2018 had given a one-time rollover for all assets in the crisis which was called the Lehman crisis. Today's crisis is internal and 10 times more severe. And we have represented both to the finance industry and to RBI that same thing which we did in 2018, September, October, December for real estate and all other sectors should be done at the choice of the bank. So it's not compulsory to do rollover. The bank, otherwise the problem which he mentioned just now on a one-day default, they can also create a problem. That's the point.
I think the one-day default, however, is going to
done in 2018 for all loans at the choice of the bank, not compulsory.
Can I also compare between the NBFC and Thank you so much.
One is on the demand side, we should allow this 1,50,000 of interest only allowed for 45 lakh home buyers to be extended to 75 or 1 crore. And second, what has been taken away from the home buyer should be reintroduced, because when I buy a second home on loan and I give it on rent, the interest rate is 8 or 9%, my rental income is 2, I get a negative interest. That should be allowed to be shut off. And these are two things. In addition to that, I think we should all follow SBI. Here, as
NAREDCO rate linked home loans, because the transmission of rate is not happening to the end.
Incidentally, the thing that happened, I had Punjab National Bank on the channel, and Mr. Singh that said very good, we'll be doing it, yes, just waiting for it. But with that, we could totally understand if it's the next panelist or getting inside.